today. I started at 1:49. Just woke up this morning having a lot on my mind, just really focusing on the solutions that the Willie the Bam Johnson brand brings to society. Understanding the whole purpose of Point MMA, this youth family curriculum for personal development from the inside out. It's not about the dollars, it's not about the fame, it's really about what we know, allowing people to safely engage in the dynamics of sparring. MMA, one of the fastest growing sports, and we look at the success of it. We look at what it's doing to capture the audience, to feed their desire of fighting and combat. And we know fighting and combat, a violent expression of human survival, but yet we try to tame it and allow it to be expressed in a safe manner. But we can look at MMA and realize that in a couple of decades, people are going to suffer such devastating damage to their brain and psychic and emotions that then we're going to have to think and figure out what can we do to maintain the growth of this sport, but in a manner that will not do so much damage to the human body. Children come up looking at the success of MMA and wanting to be an MMA fighter. But do you really want a child to be trained to go into the ring and deal with such devastation? I know I don't. Even when I think of my oldest son, who's an incredible martial artist and can fight and can go with the best, and if trained properly for UFC or any type of MMA competition, he would do very well. But would I really want him to go into such a area of competition? Other ways to be successful. Just like I was able to take what I had to go through coming up in the inner city, and for my love of the martial arts, for the dreams of wanting to be like Bruce Lee, and the things that Bruce Lee inspired me to do. As they say, the father of mixed martial arts. He inspired me to do what I'm doing with Point MMA at a young age, blending together styles and concepts so I can be able to learn how to survive without any instructions. Learning how to deal with the emotional devastations of being bullied so bad, abused by not just younger people, teenagers, but adults, leaders. I had to find a way to dig down inside myself and deal with the emotion of not wanting to fight back. As a child, I used to get beat up and sent home and cry, had my shoes taken from me, punched in the face. I didn't want to fight. I just wanted to practice martial arts and express it. But either you had to fight back or continue to be bullied for the rest of your life. So I had to learn how to fight back. I had to learn how to stand up against the top wrestlers and the boxers in the community that was showing off and beating people up just to entertain the girls or whatever it may be. It wasn't about a gang. It was just about trying to get a rep, trying to get some recognition. And I had to practice my martial arts and learn how to counter these wrestlers and these boxers. And I was able to do that. It's not about coming and say courageously that, yeah, I won every one. No, I earned enough respect that those people became my friend. But it was through the martial arts development of sparring. It was through the freestyle sparring with no safety equipment. Through the emotions of feeling like I wanted to, feeling like I wanted to just punch and hurt the person that was scoring points on me with perfectly controlled kicks and punches and sweeping me and looking at me with such a determination. I couldn't get frustrated. I couldn't run. I couldn't quit. I had to learn how to listen to what the instructor was saying and make adjustments and relax and develop my skills and learn to be more successful at freestyle sparring, which is no different than Point MMA. The martial arts dojo was not about developing an animal, but about expressing a human desire to be able to deal with adversity and overcome adversity in a humble and positive manner. A thing that our children got to learn how to deal with today. They got to learn how to put their shoulders up and look at a person in the eyes and shake with a strong grip and use the commands of yes sir and no sir and you know, and yes ma'am and no ma'am. When you learn to spar, and it's not even about the emotional things that we learn to adjust to, that we got to teach our children to be able to adjust to, so we can build a better society. If we don't, what are we really doing to help them? Making them a better tricker, a better forms person? What is a trophy really going to achieve? After a while, after you done won them all, after you done achieved the goal of being in the movies and working with the best and success and being on the covers of magazines and working with the success, what are we going to deal with the emotions or the things of people trying to take advantage of you or trying to bully you, not just in school, but in corporate America or in college or whatever it may be? Point MMA was designed to help bring about solutions to allow our children to get emotionally strong and learn the true expression of courage under pressure and showing empathy at some point because you have learned how to do expression of martial arts. You know that you can hurt and stop a kick or a punch an inch away from someone's face. But guess what? Because of that, you choose not to engage in violence. Look around us. Look at our society. Look at people reacting, adults reacting, people just doing crazy stuff it's supposed to teach us to avoid. It's about expressing ourselves, being true to ourselves, and loving ourselves. And the only way you can do that is to be able to function under pressure. It doesn't have to be the pressure that I had to experience. The things that I put myself through the drugs and the drug dealing and the beatdowns and the gun battles and all those things that I wouldn't want any child to deal with. And we're not just talking about in the inner city, but we're talking about in the suburbs all over the world. Yeah, what does Point MMA has to do with it? It has a lot to do with that. Because those same emotions we deal with on all levels of life. Children deal with it when they come and they got a red. If you're a parent, you understand the battle that you got to go with to readjust your message to help empower your children, your teenager, your young adults, and beyond. Point MMA, everything that we create under the Willie the Bam Johnson brand is to bring about a solution, something that I have been able to do firsthand to help better communicate with my children and my family and the community about, guess what? It's what the people need to succeed. Everything that we do, we go amongst the people in vibration, in their words, and what they're responding to. And we find a way to deliver that solution by holding true to the traditional values of martial arts with a modern approach. That's what Point MMA is all about. Yes, we are growing organic. We want to, as Bruce Lee said at one time, he brought about what he was doing with Jeet Kune Do to clean up the classical mess. At one time, we were talking about taking out of sparring. People don't even spar in dojos anymore. So when UFC comes about, you're like, whoa, you know, look at that. That's not right. But it showed that the people were fighting to find something that registered in their mind, that really developed their character under pressure. Since martial arts came to this country and it was developed to help people grow under safe, harmonious, peaceful, sometimes abusive and aggressive pressure of the teacher and give you those emotions. You cannot have success without adversity. And if you do, it is not real. We cannot grow the martial art, the next generation of martial artists without adversity. But why not do it like it used to be for me and for so many others in the dojo, on the dojo floor? They have a saying, it's better to sweat on the floor than to bleed out there. But it's better to grow in the dojo and build the character than to have our kids being abused out there on the street. Every child don't have to go through those levels of struggles like I had to go through, or many other people. It's our duty as leaders and masters and innovators to bring that struggle up to them and reveal it in our philosophies and methods of teaching so we can help these children grow. Point MMA is designed to do that, to help build the character so we can build a better generation. That's what Point MMA is all about. It's about learning how to function and deal with those things that children are facing right now with bullies. But if they don't learn how to stand up, and if they don't learn how to face those emotions, yeah, you might get kicked, you might get punched, but you gotta learn how to function and come back peacefully and respond harmoniously. That's what this is about. It's not about just a competition. Come on, life is a competition. You take out competition in your dojo, we take it out because we say it's not right, or we say because of the politics. Well, fix them. If we don't learn how to fix these things and come with solutions within our own industry to help our people grow, what's going to happen when they go out into the real world? Point MMA, the curriculum, and even the competition league of Sports Karate Legacy is all designed for that. Look at what this sport has done for the great ones like Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee, Bill Wallace, Joe Louis, Billy Blanks, Benny the Jet Arquetas, the Gracies. It allowed them to be able to stand up and be true to themselves. Why did I have to go through a jail cell to realize the true values of martial arts that was missing? If these things were revealed and the character development was being revealed at that time, would I had to make the choices that I did? Probably not. How did I have to go through all this to understand that everything that I do reflects a brand that someday can become my business, can be my expression of my own entrepreneurship skills? How did I have to come to a point to realize that it's not about the money, it's about what's inside? And if you're okay inside by holding true and dear to the principles of martial arts on a universal level, bringing about harmony and showing empathy, even under pressure, to everybody, even those that might be against what you're trying to do, guess what? Then you're going to be okay. That's what this is about. It's bigger than all that other stuff. Forget the trophies and the titles. Think about the children. Think about the families. If we can bring Point MMA in and allow our children to develop from white belt to black belt through a friendly character building curriculum that takes them from intro to black belt, only on sparring, and blending and fusing together all the styles. I didn't invent anything. Me and my wife didn't invent anything. We just reinvented something that people just pushed to the side and got lost. Because some people who didn't succeed in sparring and didn't learn to function and develop the character that was necessary through the sparring, they took it out and said, no, don't do it. Because you know what? You didn't allow yourself to go through the process to get to the other side. We know what sparring, safe sparring, has done for generations of pioneering martial artists. A generation of pioneering martial artists that's made it possible for someone like me to even be here today. Let's bring that back. Let's bring the joy back to sparring. Let's allow the youth to develop. Imagine what they're going to be as they get older. And if they decide to go into UFC, they can make it better. Just like, and thank Dana White for what he has done. But look at it. Most fights now are being won based on points. The athletes are superior. The skill level is incredible. And you're seeing a blending. You're seeing the techniques that at one time you thought weren't effective, you're now seeing them executed on the UFC stage. It's not the style that's important. It's the individual. And that's what Point MMA is doing. Let's start developing them from a young age to the adult age.